following is a paid program. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the management or ownership of KSTP-AM 1500 ESPN.
This is the place to talk about everything related to the home. Buying or selling real estate, financing and improvements that can help increase your home's value. This is Minnesota Home Talk on Score North. Here's your host, Jason Walgrave.
Good morning and welcome to Minnesota Home Talk. I'm your host, Mike Overson with Luminate Home Loans. Evan, you still don't have my intro?
You know, it's funny. Maybe I'll just pull out the old intros because we're back to the old station now.
Oh, we're on ESPN again?
Yeah, welcome to 1500 ESPN, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We were just talking sports.
Right? We might as well just keep that going,
We
right?
could.
Let's just keep talking about the T-Wolves, the Wild, all the stuff that Minnesotans don't want to talk about right now.
Well, it's been a tough playoffs, but they're there.
Right. I mean, that's...
They appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a step in the right direction.
It is what it is.
Minnesota sports are tough. It's hard to be a fan here in Minnesota.
It is. Someone posted on Facebook our playoff winning percentage for Minnesota pro sports since the last 18 years or something like that. And it's just, Twins are 0-18 and, they just went down the line. And our win percentage, I think as a state is like 0.237, I think.
I mean, if it was an interest rate, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
The last time a Minnesota sports team actually, made it to the finals of anything. The Twins in 1991.
Well, the Lynx.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's true. Men's sports.
Men's. Yeah. If we go to men's. Yeah. The women's were the women's basketball team was on a tear there for a while.
They were.
That's true. The Lynx were the team to beat.
They were the top of the top there for a while. But yeah, men's sports. Yeah, it's been a little tough.
It's been a little dry.
But
no, that 91 team, I remember that vaguely.
Yeah.
91 Twins. Kirby Puckett.
I remember that like it was yesterday. Is what he was going to say. And then he was like, wait, but that makes me sound too old.
Yeah.
I remember that.
31 years ago. 31 years ain't that long.
I was there. I existed.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but I existed.
There you go. We are going to talk about mortgages, real estate, credit repair. We're going to talk about an event that Credilife has coming up here on June 4th as well. And we are taking your phone calls this morning. So the call-in number, 651-647-2910.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Well done.
I don't know the text number. What's the text number, Evan?
763-443-5664 to get your text questions answered.
Okay. So, and we're going to take your questions, anything dealing with mortgages, real estate, credit repair. What are we going to give away? What should we give away today?
I think we've got Saints tickets, presumably.
St. Paul Saints tickets. We're going to give away a pair of St. Paul Saints tickets to the best question of the morning. So again, feel free to call in or text in with your question. The call-in number is 651-647-2910. And the text line is
763-443-5664.
Look at that guy in the assists.
right.
Talk about a fun game to go to. The Saints games are amazing.
Saints games are great.
Win or lose, they're so much fun.
Well, they're
do
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff outside of the game that, with the crowds and the fans and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah,
They have those things where you can dress up in a bubble, like run into it, like, human bowling ball.
Yeah.
Think you've ever seen that at the
Smash
game?
into
Oh,
each
it's
other.
hilarious.
You guys need to do that.
We should do that at the event, Dustin.
We should.
You and I could dress up in some,
There might be some liability there because if you wind up upside down on the asphalt, you're going to be in a little bit of pain when you
Might be a little rough there.
Yeah.
Just have people
If we
sign
can
a
have
waiver.
Yeah,
It's all
you can
good.
have a grass spot. Maybe.
Well, it's funny. Somebody at the office wanted to do a dunk tank. So we're doing this event on June 4th. It's open for business. Just celebrating, all of us being in business and COVID and getting out of COVID and being outside. But someone had mentioned doing a dunk tank. Would there be liability in that if we put ownership put Jared in a dunk tank and threw balls?
Only if he's in the Speedo.
I mean, I think you'd be fine there.
I
Talk
think
to the
I would.
insurance guy. He's the guy that probably know that question.
Oh, boy.
You got to insure an event like that with a dunk tank? Is there insurance for that, or are you on your own?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Expensive?
No.
No?
Event insurance is pretty cheap.
Oh, there you go.
It is.
It's
And then
just
we can
we'll
have
put it on
balls,
the
and if
agenda.
somebody winds up on their head, it's their fault. Yeah, they're insured.
well, if Jared's the one getting dunked, big deal.
Yeah.
That's just Jared.
Yeah.
You know.
He'd probably enjoy it.
He would.
Yeah, for sure.
Would he be a good heckler though? You know how those guys sitting there and they heckle the people throwing at him.
Oh yeah.
You think he can do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he can.
Yeah,
Definitely. He can muster up the.
because that's what you got to have.
Yep, you gotta throw those passive aggressive Minnesota insults out there.
Exactly.
Get everybody riled up.
Oh, I love it. We're gonna go through. Let's see what we're talking about today. We're gonna go through some hot listings here. We're gonna talk about the event that you guys have coming up. So we're gonna talk about that as well. And then we're just gonna open it up. Anything and everything goes here after that. Anything dealing with mortgages, real estate, and credit repair. Phone lines again are open 651-647-2910 and the text line 763-443-5664. It was scrolling on the TV. I cheated there. I was looking at Evan hoping he's going to cover me. I looked at the TV and saw, there it is. Oh, you can watch us on Facebook too. So on Facebook, if you go to the Minnesota Home Talk Facebook page, you can watch us live there too. You can submit a question through Facebook as well. It does not get you in the contest for the St. Paul Saints tickets, but you can still submit a question through Facebook, and we'll answer your question live on air as well. All right, let's go to some hot listings. We're going to start over in Victoria, Minnesota, 1555 Fox Hunt Way in Victoria, Minnesota. This is a 3-bed, 4-bath, 2,197 square foot townhouse built in 2006. Very, very nice townhouse. Looking at the pictures here, it's done up well. Inside and outside is pretty spectacular property here. Again, this one is at 1555 Fox Hunt Way in Victoria, Minnesota. And that one is listed at $375. Going to Afton, very unique opportunity here in Afton at 15616 Upper 34th Street South in Afton, Minnesota. This is a 3-bed, 3-bath home, 2,863 square feet. This one sits on 2.9 acres. It's up on a bluff.
That's fantastic.
So you can, the views that you get here, and I believe that's the St. Croix River. So the views that you get here is, they're pretty amazing here. You can see for miles from the back deck on this thing. It also has a sunroom on it. So it has a solar panel sunroom on there that faces south. So that's a unique feature as well. And I think, Evan, we were talking about this one last week. This is the one where you can hang glide from your back deck down to the St. Croix River.
Yeah, we don't advise it, but you can try it, I guess.
That's what Dustin. You should go out
put
there.
Up a zip line.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So much
zip line. It'd be like a 10,000 foot.
So it wouldn't hurt too bad.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So again, this one is in Afton. This one's listed at $750,000. It's 15616 Upper 34th Street South in Afton, Minnesota. Going to Red Wing, Minnesota, probably the most unique listing that we've ever had on the show, and one of the most impressive listings that we've actually had on the show. This one is at 27858 Greens Point Road in Red Wing, Minnesota. This one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,174 square feet. And you're like, well, that doesn't sound that impressive. What's impressive is the lot. This thing has 425 feet of sandy lakeshore right on the Mississippi River there, Lake Pepin. And the views are amazing. And the entire 425 feet of lakeshore is all sand, which you just don't see that on Lake Pepin. You just don't see that in Minnesota. So here's the aerial view for Rick there.
Oh, it's on a point even.
Yeah. So it's pretty incredible. This one is listed at 1.5 million. It is a must see. It's a unique must see property here. Again, it's 27858 Greens Point Road in Red Wing, Minnesota. Heading over to New Prague, we got a listing on Cedar Lake Drive in New Prague. It's at 24195 West Cedar Lake Drive in New Prague. This one is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 720 square foot home. So it's a nice home, but it's a nice little cute home there. It's right on the lake. This one was built in 1958, 0.28 acres.
It's a nice listing. I did an open house for that one.
Oh,
I'm
you
actually
did?
having an open house this weekend on that one also.
Yeah, it looks great. It's a cute little house, like I said, right on the lake there. And it's done up well. I mean, it's even
nice quiet street.
Nice quiet street. Yep. There's crappies in the lake. There's muskies in this lake, and the inside is actually somewhat updated too.
And it's not an overpopulated lake. That's what's fantastic about that.
Yeah, it's not so busy.
No,
Like-
you can go out there and actually enjoy the lake. You
Right.
don't have to worry about running into a bunch of people. And like you said, the fishing is great out there.
Yep. So this one here, the 24195 West Cedar Lake Drive in New Prague. This one is listed at $449,900. Next listing, Rick, you ever wanted to own a resort on a lake?
Yes.
He
Oh yeah.
does.
So there's one for sale on the north shore of Lake Mille Lacs. So Docks Harbor up there on the north shore of Lake Mille Lacs is for sale. It's at 39629 State Highway 18 in Aiken, Minnesota. It's listed at $2.5 million. It's 4 acres.
Oh no, sorry.
It's got I think 18 RV sites. And then it's got 4 buildings where the main lodge has a restaurant, I believe, in it and things like that. And then it's got boat slips. I think it's got like 24 boat slips.
On the north side of the lake.
That's on the north side of the lake there. So Docks Harbor is what it's called. So that one is for sale. Great opportunity if you've ever wanted to own a resort on a lake. This one is
to Rick's Harbor.
We could.
you could. That's got
Actually, my uncle Dave lives on Lake Mille Lacs
Oh, it does?
in Isle, Minnesota. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually familiar with that area.
Yeah, so he's on the south side there.
South side, southeast side
Yeah.
corner. And I mean, he knows that lake very well. But yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Rick's Harbor. It's got a
Rick's.
nice ring to
Yeah,
it, huh?
does, yeah.
So that one is for sale. So again, it's Docks Harbor up there on Mille Lacs. This one's listed at $2.5 million. And there's room for expansion on that one too. Let's see. That one is off the market. We are going to go to a Pebble Creek custom home here. This one is located on Sumter Avenue South. It's 146XX. So the formal address has not been done yet, but it's a to be built. And it's a Pebble Creek custom home here. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,400 square foot home. This one is, again, a to be built. The lot size is 0.64 acres. So you've not got a nice big lot there. And this is my favorite floor plan for Pebble Creek. I've been inside a couple of these that they have built, and it's my favorite one that they have done. So this one is listed at $995. Again, it's on Sumter Avenue South in Savage, Minnesota. And for our last hot listing here, we have another Pebble Creek custom home. This one is at 16080 Sims Court Southeast in Prior Lake. This one is a 2-story. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 2,941 square foot home. Again, immaculate finishes inside and out. Everything you would expect from a Pebble Creek custom home. Done up very well here. And this one is listed at $950,000. So again, that one is at 16080 Sims Court Southeast in Prior Lake. If you want more information on these listings or any other listings out there, feel free to reach out to us at minnesotahometalk.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us 24/7. We have a home search tool that's right on there that links to the MLS and is updated every 15 minutes. You can set up your own custom searches. You can run reports on buying, selling, investing in real estate, and you can connect directly with either Jason or myself or Rick.
Absolutely.
Rick Wenner, and Dustin Dahlberg, who's in the studio with us this morning as well. So feel free to check us out again, minnesotahometalk.com. Again, that's the best way to get a hold of us 24/7. Phone lines are open, 651-647-2910. Give us a call. Any question about mortgages, real estate, credit repair, insurance. If you want to stump the insurance guy we have in studio with
baby.
us. We like to see
2
him
big
sweat a little
storms
bit.
this week. You might have insurance questions.
Oh, yeah.
Call in 651-647-2910 or text your question 763-443-5664.
I bet there's a lot out there.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys get hit
Absolutely.
with the storm? We
I
got
mean, it
hail
was
in
windy
New
and
Prague.
rainy, but no damage or anything. Did you guys?
Yeah.
Any
we got-
damage?
we got hail 2 days in a row. And I guess over on the west side of New Prague, they got like softball size hail. Or
You get-
baseball size hail.
You get people showing up, storm chasers showing up at your door?
No,
yet?
actually, I just had my roof replaced last fall, and the contractor's coming back out to look at it again.
Oh, really?
And I started laughing. He told me yesterday, he goes, "Yeah, we've had roofs that they've literally replaced twice within 2 weeks."
Dang.
And I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't know.
Wow.
You could do
That's
that.
bad timing. Evan's shaking his head like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money makers, huh?
Not for us.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do though? I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean,
ultimately speaking, if the roof is damaged in such a way that you're going to be repairing all of it,
Yeah.
then you have to do it. That's what it is.
Mother Nature just wanted to take you through the ringer for a
Yeah.
couple weeks there.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Now we were fortunate just outside of Northfield, and got
You
a lot
had
of wind.
tornado warnings. didn't
But
you,
the
over there?
warnings were there. I mean, and the downforce winds were strong. I mean, we had branches and leaves and stuff in the yard, but no damage.
No trees. Over
Knock
there.
on wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Lakeville. Well, we're South Burnsville, Lakeville School District, so we're right on the border there. Same thing. Winds and rain, but no damage really.
It was loud.
It was certainly loud. The lightning show was great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stayed up to watch it, it was pretty impressive. Yeah. So phone lines are open 651-647-2910. You can also text in your question to 763-443-5664 or connect with us on Facebook and submit your questions there. We're giving away St. Paul Saints tickets to the best question of the morning. So that's what we're going to be giving away here. So, gentlemen, you guys got an event coming up on June 4th. Why don't you guys talk about the event you have coming up?
Yeah, so Credilife is co-hosting, along with the Walgrave real estate team, event. We're calling it Open for Business. It's open for fun, family, and we're going to have some food and some beverages. But we're going to have a small forum of some real estate experts and some credit experts speaking about starts at 11, but the forum starts at noon. So we're going to get together. We really want to celebrate the fact that through COVID, there's a ton of businesses in Burnsville, Lakeville area, and then we're rolling out a new platform for business credit and financing. We're super excited about. We've had a half a dozen people in the Burnsville area enroll in the program, and it's about accessing credit and financing for small business. So a couple of success stories just to mention. We had a client out in Sacramento about 2 months ago. He invested in an old building. It was built in 1919, $650,000 worth of real estate in downtown Sacramento. He's going to turn it into a nightclub, and he got all the funding. We helped him secure the funding, and he's only been in business a year.
Oh, wow.
So,
Nice.
So a lot of fun stuff going on. We want to share those types of stories with, anybody out there looking to grow their business.
And business credit, from what I hear, works quite a bit differently than like your personal credit does.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of what's going on and that's different about it is you can generate a lot of buying power with a very limited amount of revenue as long as you follow the plan and the program and your coach's advice. Me truly. Right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you have. There's conventional and subprime lending, which is kind of the same, but you really can get creative. And part of our program is we have access to 3,200 national lenders who all specialize in different types of lending, right? So you'll have some lenders that just do lines of credit. So if you're rehabbing and you're in real estate and you do a lot of rehab work, they have a line of credit for rehab work, right? Where you can get an advance on the rehabilitation, time materials. And then once you sell the property, pay it down, pay it off. So there's just a lot of more customization with the lending, where you have a little bit more control as a loan originator than you would on the mortgage side. So that makes it pretty fun, creative, financing for sure.
Yeah. So what else is going to be happening at the event? So you got, you guys are going to be having some food, some drinks. You're going to be doing that.
Some drinks. We got the forum going on. We're going to have 5 speakers, but we're going to have
some games out.
Some cornhole we're thinking about the dunk tank.
Yeah.
What's the game with the, I was asking you this the other day, what's the game with the golf balls on a string and you throw it? And it catches on the PVC pipe.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's like some name. Maybe it's not appropriate for radio, but there's some name for it. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some games. I mean, we want to get the people that in our community, the small businesses that really worked hard to keep the doors open for business. For example, there's a snow cone shop that shares our parking lot, which is kind of funny because a snow cone shop in Minnesota is awesome business for 6 months out of the year.
Right.
But those guys were open every day selling snow cones. And so we just want to get the business community together and celebrate our achievements and then help each other grow.
So back to business barbecue.
Business barbecue.
Like it.
Absolutely.
And where's it located at?
It's going to be in our office in Burnsville.
At your office in Burnsville there?
At our office right off of Highway 5 and Highway 13.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll have parking available and we'll have the games going on. We'll have some barbecue. We're actually trying to talk Havens into bringing out this barbecue grill he invested in about a year ago, where he's doing pork bellies and
the toe behind one.
Oh, you should see this thing. He was doing a cook a couple of weeks ago where he got up at like 2:00 in the morning to check in and
oh man,
and
that's dedication there.
I think imagine an alarm clock going off. Hey, you got to check on your pork belly. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it.
Oh man, he's way over motivated on that than I am. I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to
when you're searching online for like peach paper for barbecue and you're importing, seasoning and spices.
I have a hard time smoking anything because it takes so long.
Oh,
you know,
dude,
like when I'm hungry, I want to eat now.
If I start,
I wanna
if I
eat
start
6 hours
smelling
from
it, I
now.
would be like sampling. There'd be nothing left of it after a couple hours. Like, where's the pork belly?
What happened to it? You'd have to go double. The one I'm going to eat while I'm making it,
Right.
and then the one that's actually going to be available
That's
when
what
we're
I
done.
say, you never trust the skinny chef, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're constantly tasting it and checking to make sure it's
No, we're planning on doing it for sure, and getting him over there with that would be just a icing on the cake. But it'll be fun. Everybody's welcome, family included. We want kids there too. You know, a lot of these small businesses, they're looking to leave a legacy behind for their family. You know, so it's all about the family. I mean, when you think about your average Minnesota small business owner, you know, mom's working at the shop and the kids are involved, and you know, that's our client.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice. Is there a place where people can go online to get more info? If
they can visit us on Eventbrite. Just go on to eventbrite.com.
We're gonna have a link on Minnesota Home
we have
Talk
the we have the link on the Minnesota Home Talk
page.
page.
If it's not yet,
it's on there. Yep.
Nice. Perfect. Good. Yeah.
Yes.
So if people forget the time, the date, whatever, they can go to
they can go to
Minnesota Home Talk.
Eventbrite, go to the link, register for it.
Nice. Perfect.
We'll know they're coming. We'll know how many pork bellies Jared needs to get ready to go.
Yeah.
Love it.
He'll need the dunk tank to refresh him. After
We
being up all
do.
night
He'll
smoking
be
pork belly.
be ready to go.
So you guys do a bit. So I know you guys have the business credit division that is newer, and you guys have been doing more recently. But then you also have the personal credit side, which you guys have been doing forever.
Yeah, 8 years now. We've been we started specializing in personal financial wellness and credit repair, and helping people with their struggles with credit and debt management. Most of them to get back to, Illuminate Home Loans, to originate a loan and get themselves in a position to be pre-approved for a mortgage. And a lot of what that entails is the customization of their plan and then being coached through it. It's just like anything in life. As a coach, I can be objective. I can help you plan and keep you on task to get to a goal. So that's been great. Over the last 8 years, I'd probably safely guess maybe 6,500 people we've helped get themselves in a position to be pre-approved for mortgage lending, which, as you know, Mike, is a feat in of itself. But the reward is getting them into that home, saving money on rent.
A lot of people don't know how to work their credit. So I think having a credit coach is definitely something that can benefit a lot of people.
Well, it's like for me, it'd be like having Mike as my personal trainer, right? It's like he knows what he's doing, but more importantly, he can help me follow my plan. Like, hey, Rick, So
and everybody's type is different. So if you go to the personal training thing, what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person.
That's 100%. People. I've often believed, and I have worked in banking for 17 years. Money makes people funny, not always bad, not always good, but it's unique. Like their reaction and their relationship with credit, their money, is unique to them. So you're absolutely right, Mike. Their relationship has to be managed that way. So how do you keep track of this? And you'd think everybody keeps track of money the same way. No. I'll ask people, how do you balance your budget? I've never gotten the same answer twice.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
People used to do it with a checkbook. They don't do it anymore. Everything's online. Everything's online banking.
Yeah.
That
does it for you.
Your checking account is, you just pull it up. There it is.
And the access to money is obviously very easy now because everything is online. Credit, credit cards, all that stuff. It's very easy. And so a lot of times I know for a lot of people, it's then very easy to lose track of how much you have spent until you look at it one day and you're like, where did all this come from? Right?
Absolutely.
You come to the realization because it is so easy out there. Everything, there's clickbait everywhere, right? So it's like, boom, boom, you get this, you get free this.
We'll store your credit card information for you. You don't have to enter it again next week.
All that type of stuff. And so it's very easy to lose track of just because of the ease of how you can just spend money without even thinking about it right now.
Well, and you mentioned an interesting point too, with access to the funding. It doesn't always mean you're sitting down with someone like yourself and you intimately know the terms, the conditions of the lending itself, right? Like, I've been approved.
You get mailers. My 20-year-old kids get the pre-approval letters.
The pre-approval letter.
Like, there's no way they're pre-approved for anything. I had to co-sign on the cost.
Did you read some of the small print of that stuff and you're like, no, you're absolutely right.
29% interest.
29% interest rate. Even in the loan, you look at some of these loans that are starting to come back on the mortgage side. You read through some of the small print of those and you scratch your head and you're like, you're going to get approved, but you're going to have to pay this rate for the next 30 years of your life. You know?
Right. Or there's other caveats too. They're front loaded with, fees and things like that you understand. And they might not have you pay for that out of your pocket. They slap it on top of the loan amount, and so then, it doesn't feel like you're paying for it because you didn't physically pay for it now, but you're paying for it through the next 30 years, and so there's can be a lot of games that are played out there. On the credit side of things, though, personal wise, you guys mentioned you guys do personal plan, and it's you guys. The good thing about you guys, you're more of a financial wellness deal.
Yeah,
it's not just a big box. Here's a conveyor belt for credit repair. Hop on the belt and ride to the end type of deal.
Yeah, everybody has access to our coaches and our coaching team. We have a saying in the office, our goal is not just to transform your credit report, but in some small way transform you as the consumer of credit and financing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, transforming them takes communication and commitment and motivation. And, the online automation we have is they have access to a dashboard 24/7. They're communicating with, members of our team. They're, monitoring their plan. We kind of gamify it. They know, as you know, from credit scoring, they know if they're making improvements because they get that feedback right online. So there's a lot of gratification as they meet certain steps in their program.
Yeah. Because if you look at it, I always try to explain your credit score. It's really a measure of your financial habits.
It is.
That's what it is. If you have a habit of making payments late and not on time, your score is going to reflect that. If you have a habit of carrying high balances on your credit cards, carrying a lot of debt, that's going to reflect on your credit report. So, in your credit score. So your score is a measure of your habits. And what you guys do is you say, hey, here's your habit and here's the type of score it's yielding. We need to change your habit, or we need to work on this habit. So now your habit is this.
No, and that's great insight, because it's not always about having money. You've been in the credit business as long as I have. And in fact, sometimes the worst habits are the people that have some of the better incomes. It's just their habit is, you're looking at it and you're like, you make great money and you're making bank and your car payment's been late 2 of the last, 12 times.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and that's what's one of the better things about you guys is because it's not just hey, sign up here. We're going to send a couple of dispute letters out and send you on your way.
100%. And we not only take pride in that, but that's what's needed. It's needed to partner with our clients and get to the goal is for them to not only, and, we do some of those core competencies with credit repair, but transforming them. And how to do that is being a coach. How to do that is to be a cheerleader at times. Sometimes we're cheerleading and sometimes we're having that conversation that we just had, which is, hey, we got to change some behavior here and we got to find some different ways of keeping track of this and different ways of managing this. Otherwise, this is going to continue to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the weird things I'll explain here is credit card balances. We spoke about that. So a lot of people will have a credit card. Let's say it's got a $4,000 limit on it. They're going to charge everything on that card for the month, right? So they charge, let's say it's $2,500 worth of stuff every single month on there. So all their auto pay is done on that credit card. And then once their billing cycle ends and their statement comes out, they pay the thing off in full. Okay. So it sounds great. Yeah, we pay the thing off in full every single month. We never carry a balance on it. It's paid off in full. The problem there is that the balance that reports on your credit report is the balance that showed up in your last statement cycle. So if it's $2,500 every single month, even though you pay it down to zero, every single month on your credit report, it's going to look like you carry $2,500 and $2,500 and you're rolling this balance every single month.
Yeah. Well, and this is something that Evan could relate to too. It's about the perception of risk, just like in insurance, where when you're trying to predict something, the bank doesn't know, or the lender doesn't know, or the mortgage loan officer, the next lender that you work with doesn't know anything more than what's reported. So you could have been doing, just like you said, paying that balance down on the state, after the statement closing date. Congratulations. No one knows about that.
Right.
The perceived risk is still there. Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff is education, just educating our clients on, and then explaining to them why it works. Because sometimes when you're dealing, especially with big banks and some of these big lenders, the rules are the rules, but they don't take the time to explain it, why it's that way.
Right.
Take the time, explain it to them. The light bulbs go off, they get it. They change their behavior. They see their reward.
Yep. And so the trick with the whole credit card thing is, so then we teach our clients to do exactly what you're doing. Pay it off in full every single month. Set a reminder for 3 to 4 business days before your cycle ends and make the payment then versus after your statement ends, because that payment will go in, it'll clear and post to your account. It'll knock your balance down to zero right before your statement comes out. Now your statement's going to show a zero balance. That zero balance reports on your credit report. And now you're going to get the score and the benefits of that.
Right. And with credit, it's one of those things where as the individual, you're looking to obtain something, looking for a mortgage, looking for a car loan, right? To the lender, they're look at it like, what have you done lately with the money that you've already been granted, right? Because in reality, you're asking for more of something.
Right.
So it's you're asking for more. Well, how have you done on the stuff that you've already have,
Have you
right?
been
I think that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people will say, well, my credit should be great. I've never, I've never had a loan. I've never needed it.
Yeah.
I've made it this far in my life without needing credit. Well, we don't know what you're going to do with credit.
Yeah. What happens when you do get one?
Yeah.
Are you going to fail miserably?
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, it's like that insurance thing I mentioned where it's like, if you go without insurance for a year, that's like the worst thing you can do, by the way.
You're high risk.
4 years ago, I had a medical situation where I didn't have car insurance for about 2 months. I just wasn't driving. My insurance premium for not being insured for 2 months was crazy.
The insurance guy over there is just shaking his head.
Don't do it.
It was unbelievable. I'm over 50. I thought, oh, that's, they're not going to care. Oh yeah, they care.
Oh yes. Period uninsured for auto is like one of the
It's worse
most
than being in an
catastrophic
accident.
things you can do to your rates.
Huh.
That's
Interesting.
terrible,
Yeah.
Very interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah.
I figured it was like anything else. You could pause it if you're not using it, right?
No.
There are situations where you can pause it, but those are, you keep your policy in place.
Okay.
You basically tell the company, hey, I'm going on a mission.
So just don't
like
let it-
I'm going to be,
Yeah,
I'm
don't
going to be
let
in
it
Africa. I'm
default
not
to
going to be
close.
driving for the next 3 months. I just need to pause my policy. You keep
Okay,
the
so that
policy
is
in
a thing.
place.
Okay.
But if you cancel your policy because you go, I'm going to Africa for the next half a year or whatever, then when you come back, they go, why didn't you have a policy? And you go, well, I was out of country. I didn't need insurance. They go, that's great. You had a 6 months uninsured period. Here's your premium.
Ouch.
Mike, one of the groups of people that does that notoriously, just as far as a demographic out there, are small business owners. Small business owners fund 50 to 75% of their business operations with their personal credit cards.
Mm.
And that's great when the revenue's coming in and you're getting commissions from real estate. But what are you doing in November and December, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that
Not
our
plowing,
program
it's really
does
not
is
snow.
help you get that. Yeah, exactly. You're plowing snow. Right?
Yeah.
You're not eating.
Get the
snow
shovel
cone.
out.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we do too with the business program, and we're super excited about it because a lot of times you're feast or famine in small business, and the business program, the Business Platinum program, allows you to bridge that gap and rely on your business's credit versus your personal credit.
Nice.
But it's all about the perception of risk. When you're out there, especially how quickly some of these financial transactions are happening, in minutes, hours, right?
Yeah.
Where some of the decisions gets on top of the client so fast, be prepared. I tell people all the time, be prepared. Keep your credit in a position where you could be pre-approved for anything.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. You
No.
go apply with Mike.com, boom, you're pre-approved.
Yep. You're maybe not in the house for in the market for a new house, but you walk in and you find the one that you have to have because it checks all your boxes. This is your dream home.
Mm-hmm.
You can act on it right away. You don't have to go back and be like, oh, now we got to do this and we got to prepare for that and we got to get our ducks in a row. Because in this crazy market, as Dustin will tell you, a house is probably gone by the time you get your stuff.
Well, and the
They don't
other
last.
thing about financial wellness and what makes it different than just, credit repair, there's the ability to say no. When you have strength in financing and strength in your ability to finance something, personal or through business, you do in the back of your head have the ability to say no, right? To something that doesn't make sense for you, right? And I look
You're
at the
not
market.
stuck buying something you
Stuck buying
really
something you don't
want.
like, or in a location that doesn't fit you and your family's needs, or you end up spending $40,000 more for it because I'm financially sound now, but I'm not really sure where I'll be in a year. Well, that you know what I mean,
Right,
like,
yeah.
or the other way around. I'll make that decision to finance that at a 640, right? Go with FHA, and then okay, well, why didn't you just take the 6 months to put yourself in a position for conventional and save that money?
Get your
Right.
credit counseling up front, get your credit score where you want it to be.
Well,
Give
it allows you to make such a better informed decision because now you're not pressured by, okay, I have the money now or I don't.
Yeah.
You're limited in your options for sure. Absolutely.
Yep. Phone lines are open 651-647-2910. Call with any questions dealing with mortgage, real estate, credit repair, or insurance questions. I'm sure a lot of people have insurance questions now with those storms rolling through. And we're giving away a pair of St. Paul Saints tickets to the best question of the morning. So that phone line, again, is 651-647-2910. 2910, or you can text in your questions to 763-443-5664. Again, 763-443-5664.
Amazing memory, Mike.
Yeah,
Isn't that?
I'm very impressed.
I mean, I'm not good with numbers. That's why I got into mortgages, but I can I can remember numbers every once in a while. So that's a good thing there.
Well, I think, thankfully the screen's
Yeah, thankful we have it scrolling across the bottom
This
of the
is a
screen
nice
here
studio,
too.
by the way.
Yeah,
This
it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got all the amenities. It's got you guys. We go right to podcasts. It's automated.
Yep. Yep.
Sure.
And then people can watch us live on Facebook. And so if you don't catch the show live, you can always watch it whenever you want during the week too on Facebook, or we also stream to YouTube. A couple of YouTube channels. We're on like 3 or 4 Facebook pages. And I think we also go to a Twitter or LinkedIn. So you can find us kind of
Just
pretty
about
much anywhere. Yep.
in the ether sphere.
Yep, exactly. So transitioning into the real estate side of things. So we spoke about credit. So now you got your ducks in a row. You got your financing lined up and stuff. You get out in the real estate market here. There's never been a market where it's been more important to have your ducks in a row, because I mean, I kind of feel bad for first-time homebuyers right now, because you walk into a house, if you like the house, you kind of have to decide, it feels like in 20 minutes, if you want to make an offer on that house or not.
It's a rush decision nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that are putting in offers on every property that, you got to go in strong or you wind up losing out.
Right.
And then you get frustrated. And that's where a lot of clients are getting to be nowadays, is frustrated.
Right. Frustrated. Right. And so you got to be prepared, so
you gotta
it's
have that good credit so you can have that buying power, so you can have the best offer.
have it all lined up, because you got to know your numbers walking into it. It's like, hey, I spoke to my loan officer, it's like at 300,000, roughly this is what my payment is going to be. You walk into a house that's listed at 300,000, but you got to offer 320 or 325 to get it. You know what I mean? So you got to know, can I take that extra step? Can I go up there? Is that something that we can do? Those are the conversations that I'm having with everyone now is, hey, here's the price range we're looking in. And I said, okay, that's great. If you have your home search set there, we got to talk about this additional on top, because everything's pretty much selling for over list price now. Here's what it looks like if you have to go over to get the house, and so they can gauge it then at that point.
Either you're looking for houses in a little bit lower price range so you can afford to go over, or
Well, and let's face
pulling out
it,
of your pocket.
you go through that list of listings that you just went through earlier, Mike. Someone's going to win.
Yeah.
Someone's going to win because they're pre-approved. They know what their PIT affordability is, and they're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got a new program out too, where you can turn buyers into cash buyers.
Buyers into cash buyers. Yeah, we have a program coming out too, where basically if we have a fully pre-approved buyer, we will then basically buy the house that they want with cash, and then in essence basically sell it back to them and do the loan for them, so that they can go in with a cash offer instead of a financed offer. So,
and for those listeners, what's the advantage of that for most sellers?
So for most sellers, when you have a cash offer, your route to the finish line is much more direct. It's quicker. You don't have any sort of appraisal issue that might come up. You don't have any sort of underwriting issue that might come up. You take all of those things that, I don't care how good your pre-approval is up front, there's always something that can come up, because you don't have an appraisal when you do a pre-approval. Even if it's a fully underwritten pre-approval, you don't have an appraisal. You don't have title work. You don't have a couple different pieces on there. There could be something that comes up in those extra additional pieces that you need to get the financing in place, where on a cash offer, those pieces are out of the game.
Yeah.
And so now it's a cash offer, and cash
Changes
is king.
the game completely.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
fantastic in this fast moving market.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have a question came in here. We have a text question that came in, so we'll take that right now.
Yeah, Andy was asking, Mike, are HELOCs on rental properties possible, or are they only offered on primary residences?
That's a great question. You can get HELOCs on rental properties, but they're going to limit you more on your loan to value. So you typically can go up to 60% loan to value on a home equity line of credit on a rental property, maybe 70 at the absolute top. But you're going to be limited there. So yes, they're available. They're possible. Just know that you're going to be limited on the loan to value that you can get on them. That's a great question, though. We see that a lot coming up. You're going to see second mortgages coming up a lot more now, because when COVID hit and rates went down into 2.5%, 2 3/4, 3%, everyone was doing a first mortgage, refinancing onto a first mortgage. If you're going to do cash out, we're going to do a first mortgage, because when have we ever seen rates that low on a first mortgage again, right? Well, now fast forward to where we're at today, we have 30-year fixed rates at 5.375. So if you refinanced and your main loan is at 2.75 now on a 30-year fixed, are you going to give that up? No, you're not going to give that up.
Not a chance.
Right. And so now you're going to see second mortgages come back into play, because they're going to keep that 2.75 on their main loan, and they're just going to add some sort of second mortgage onto their house if they need money to rehab or do whatever.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that coming up. And it's funny because there's a guy I refer a lot of my second mortgages to, and I think I referred him to in like 2 years when rates were so low. Now in the last month, I think I've sent him about 12 people. And it's just funny how it just flips like that based on the circumstances of interest rates and how things are moving.
Yeah.
So that was Andy's question. If you've got a question that you'd like answered via text, 763-443-5664 is the text in line. That's 763-443-5664. Giving away a pair of St. Paul Saints tickets to the best question in the morning. Or if you prefer to actually, talk to us with your human voice, 651-647-2910. That's 651-647-2910 to call in with your questions.
You got to have your coffee before you do that, though.
Yeah, you got to be on your game, because we're gonna be challenging you with verbal judo the whole way.
Absolutely. Verbal judo. This type of market too, we're talking about just being prepared and stuff. But the other thing that I've noticed too is that it's never been more important to make sure you surround yourself with the right team. Because as a first-time home buyer, you don't have the opportunity to go look at a house. Oh, we'd like it. We'd like our parents to come back and take a look at it or get their opinion on it, right? And so then you wait a day or two, you get the family members to come back, excuse me, and have them take a look at them, give your 2 cents, and then you talk about it for another couple of days, and then you make your offer.
No,
that doesn't happen now.
No,
let's do it.
No.
So as a first-time home buyer, you're working with your buyer's agent, having you be on the same page with your agent of what we're looking for, what we want, things like that, is crucial, because now that agent can say, you walk into a house, be like, look, guys, you're not going to find another house that checks this many of your boxes, probably for another 2, 3, 4 months, who knows how long. So if you really like this house, you got to make a move on it. You got to make a move on it quick.
Yeah. Real estate's more detail oriented now than I think it has been in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
We need to know exactly what you want, exactly what you're looking for, so we can pin as many of these down as possible, as quick as possible.
And you got to.
It gets back to what you talked about earlier, which is, as you and your team, you're behind the scenes helping them avoid the frustration by eliminating the surprises.
Yeah.
Like that's
right.
That's what the team's doing. You're just constantly protecting that fragile decision that's about to be made.
Right.
And like you said, in the next 10 seconds, it's going to be made.
Yeah. And so you really got to lean, those first-time home buyers, especially just because it's their first time doing it, right?
Yeah.
You really got to lean on your agent. You got to be work with the agent that you trust. You really got to lean on them to say, hey, if he says we got to go, I mean, we should go.
Well, and you have to be transparent.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we're developing a rapport with our clients, 75% of our clients, for the most part, are first-time home buyers on the VIP personal side. You want them to get as transparent as possible. And part of that is just admitting if you don't know something, asking the question. Just ask, don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like you should know this, right? Ask the question.
Yeah. And as agents, we lean on each other. If we got listings coming up that we know that we're gonna have coming soon, before they go coming soon, we offer them to our team. So we have kind of inside track with each other, with the team, to pass sales to each other.
That's another huge thing too. Yeah. Off-market listings are big. What would you guess, Dustin, if you had to take a guess over the last 12 months and then going forward another 12 months, percentage of sales that are off-market?
We're probably at close to 50% at this point.
Really?
We pass
That's
a lot
fantastic.
to each other. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We're constantly.
Think about that. Almost 50% of the sales happening now, people don't even see on the open market out there, because it's their agent being connected with their team, their brokerage. And I have this buyer that has this need. Oh, I have a listing coming on. I have a seller that's going to be putting their house. It fits that criteria. They get together before it hits open market. If you can work out a deal, great.
Yep.
Well, and it's amazing how much that helps the seller too.
Yeah.
I mean, as I talk to agents out there looking to, get listings, the seller loves that. The seller loves knowing that amount of professionalism has gone into them. 'Cause, I mean, at the end of the day, we sometimes forget, hey, that seller is selling a home. That's where they've
Right.
raised their kids. I mean, that's a difficult, not always an easy decision for them. Even if they're getting $30,000, $40,000 more, they're still having to make a decision, and it's comforting them knowing that they're working with a team, that this is a done deal. Just let us know when.
Yep. And it's and the other thing too is they're still living there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they can literally do one showing to
Right.
one buyer, they can get the price they want, they can get the terms they want, and all we had to do is just have one buyer go through there. Yeah, I didn't have to go live in a hotel for a weekend and have 60 showings, on a Saturday, Sunday type of weekend.
Yeah.
That happens.
And
So 5 years ago when I sold that, the family home that I raised
yeah.
all 5 of my kids in Apple Valley, my twins it was their senior year in high school. Well, I had twin daughters, seniors in high school, trying to show houses every Sunday. It was impossible.
Impossible to keep it clean too, I'm sure. It's like,
Like, oh, you want me to clean my room and the bathroom?
yeah, you got to pick up your
my
clothes.
Yeah. Do laundry? What?
Come on, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
But that's the thing. It's it's that market has shifted to that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, as a seller, convenience is definitely there, especially in an off market deal. You might do one showing, you clean it once, do one showing, you get what you want for it. It's great. On the buy side of things, you might get the first house you make an offer on. It might be a longer road, but again, it's working with the right team, getting the right opportunities that, you might get an opportunity that no one else has seen because it's an off market deal. And you have an agent that's out there beating the pavement saying, hey, I got this buyer with this need. Finds another agent that has a sale coming up that hasn't hit the market yet. And it's a nice match there.
Yeah.
And if you want to work with the right team, you can go to MinnesotaHometalk.com.
Good call. I love it, Evan.
That is why he's the engineer right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we're still giving away tickets, right, Evan?
You better believe it. St. Paul Saints tickets. Call in with your questions, 651-647.
There's got to be more questions out there.
2910. Yeah,
Yeah.
651-647-2910 to call in or text in 763-443-5664, giving away one pair of St. Paul Saints tickets to the best real estate related question of the morning. 763-443-5664 for the text in line, 651-647-2910 for the call line.
Boom.
Nailed it.
Yep. Nailed it. Let's see what else here. Interest rates. Haven't spoke about interest rates yet. A lot of talk about what's going to happen with interest rates. Where are they going to go? I mean, at this point, your guess is about as good as mine. If I had to take a guess, we're sitting at about 5.375, 5.5 right now, roughly on a conventional, depending on what your situation is, of course, with credit scores and other factors. I think we'll touch 6. I think we'll touch low 6s before they kind of level off, maybe start reverting back. Inflation is a huge driver right now. So really watch inflation. As inflation gets better, our interest rates will get better. If inflation continues to stay where it's at or possibly get a little bit worse, well, our interest rates are going to get a little worse. For a while there, it was COVID. As long as COVID is around, our interest rates are going to be super low. That's what caused rates to go down into the high 2s. As long as COVID continues to be an issue, our rates are going to stay there. Well, look what happened. So COVID kind of got under control. We don't hear much about it in the news anymore. And that all started basically December, January, roughly. And ever since January, our rates have just been on steady increase.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's where Evan, I will age myself. I purchased my first home in 1991
okay.
at 9.25%.
And it was right after you went to the Twins World Series.
It was exactly at that.
It was an emotional buy. I was at the game. I saw them on the World Series.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm buying a house.
I'm buying a house.
Yeah.
Well, my point is when I look at business credit and the cost of securing capital and financing, yeah, I mean that's a kick, certainly relative to where we've been the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But overall, it still makes sense to invest.
Absolutely.
It still makes sense to buy. When you look at, I'd like to compare that to the rental rates that certainly in the Twin Cities area. I'm sure this is
we've done it many times.
True across the country,
Mhm.
where of the twins I mentioned earlier, so one of them's living over here off campus at Hamlin, goes to Hamlin. Their rent, their sorority house rent, went up $250 a month over the last year and a half. And these are just a bunch of 20-year-old girls, like,
Right? Yeah.
okay, gals, $250 more a month to stay here
Yeah, and that's like for a room.
for a single room.
Yeah, it's not like an entire house payment went up $250. Each room went up $250.
Exactly.
Right.
All 5 of them.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So that's the
tough.
thing. I mean, rents have gone up actually more than home prices have, percentage wise, in the Twin Cities. And you got to live somewhere. A lot of people talk about, should I buy? They're like, well, now's a bad time to buy. And when they say that, they're comparing our market with home prices and interest rates compared to COVID times, right? We got to remember COVID times, that's never happened before in history. It's probably never going to happen again.
No.
Right. So you can't compare now versus then because that was a one-off type of event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really what you got to compare is what does it look like if I buy today? And what does it look like if I sign another 12-month lease and I buy next year at this time?
100%.
Right. And so Dustin, what's your prediction on what's going to happen with just home prices now versus 12 months from now?
Well, you're definitely gonna see an increase.
Yeah,
sure.
They'll still go
it's just
up.
gonna keep going up.
Yeah.
I mean, supply and demand. It's there's not enough supply for the demand.
Right.
So it's gonna continue.
Well, and that's true of time and materials and
Yeah.
the things that these these landlords and these tenants and these property management companies, they're intentionally putting investment, improvements into these properties to offset that. I mean, the inventory will open up, and when it does, why not invest? Why not purchase?
Right.
Yeah. I get those same questions, Mike, all the time. Well, maybe I shouldn't carry through with this, or whatever. I don't know. My dad said this, or my grandpa did this. This is now. Make this decision now. And, I don't guarantee very many things in life, but if you make the right investment real estate decision, it'll pay for itself.
Right. Yep. You got to look at your options. You don't have the option to go back 18 months and buy a house.
Nope. That's
none of us have the option to go back in time and buy a house 18 months ago. If we all had the option to do that, we would all go back to 2012 and we would buy every single property we could get our hands on back in 2012.
Yeah.
Because there was townhouses in Apple Valley selling for 45 to 50 grand back in 2012. They're all selling for 215 to 235 now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we'd go back, we'd buy 1 million of those things and we'd start selling them now. Right. And we'd all retire, but we don't have the ability to do that. So you got to look at, okay, what does it look like today? And then my other option is I sign another 12-month lease. What does it look like next year? I believe you're correct, Dustin. I think home prices will go up. I think they'll go up probably 4 to 6% this year, not the 8 to 12% that we've seen over the last couple of years, but they'll still go up. Interest rates is one of those things you can always refinance if rates go down, right? So you close on a loan today at 5.5, you're not stuck with that for the life of the loan. Mm-hmm. If rates go back down, you can always refinance and grab that lower rate and you're good to go.
No, and I will tell anybody out there who's on the fence about, doing it now or doing it in the future, think about the credit building it does financing a home. Some of these millennials that tell me, I don't know if I want, maybe I'll move to France and rent or whatever their dream is, right? I'll just say, I'll just simply say to them, hey, this process is a win-win-win. It's going to build your credit. It's going to help your investment. I mean, even at 6-7%, right? You're not getting that in the stock market right now.
I was going to say,
right?
I have clients, investor clients that are pulling money out of stocks and putting them into real estate.
Right.
Because their investments, their turnaround's way faster.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Especially in a market like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's exciting. It'll be interesting. I think you'll start to see a lot more, like you were showing, just different properties, different types of real estate being listed.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of work. We do a lot of work at Credilife in the Southeast, down south in Alabama, Mississippi. They have these things called barn-dominiums. Have you heard of these?
Oh, yeah.
Like I grew up, rural Minnesota, Rice County. These things are cool. They look like little ranch houses. They're,
yep.
barns built into condos, and they're sweet.
Yeah, they're nice. They're a little tougher to get financing on because they're unique up here. Now you go to Western Wisconsin, and you can finance those a little bit easier there because you have comps on an appraisal.
There's other
properties that have sold, and now you can use a comp, and now you get financing on them because really what a bank does when they lend on it they're saying, look, what happens if we have to take this thing back? What's worst case scenario? We take this thing back. What can we sell this thing for so we don't lose right on it?
Yeah.
And so if you don't have other like properties that have sold somewhat recently, they don't know what they can sell it for. They don't know what the market will offer for something like that. So then that's what makes financing a little tougher. Now, if you can get a few sales going in there, now an appraiser can go in there and be like, here's what the market will pay for something like this, because that one sold, for here for that much, that one sold for that much. And now you can look at it and financing options will open up a little bit because now you have
totally
variable
makes
sales. So you go to Western Wisconsin, there's more of those there. Financing for a property there like that in Western Wisconsin, a little bit easier than here around the metro because we just don't see them here.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you explained that to me, because years ago there was a friend of mine up in northern Minnesota, and he owned an A-frame. You're familiar with A-frame houses, and I had never actually seen one other than visiting him. It was hard for him to get that thing refinanced even.
Yep.
And that's why. There aren't very many A-frame houses in northern Minnesota.
Yep, it's unique. So if that bank takes that thing back, they're like, what can we sell it for? What can we get for it? Because we don't want to lose, if we have a loan amount of $200,000 against the thing and the market will only pay $150 for it, we can't lend $200,000 against that. You know what I mean? We'll lend $125 against that if we think the market would give us $150 for it, just so we have a little cushion there.
You'll see the same thing in the opposite direction too, where a loan is really clearly, oh yeah, it's no problem. We don't need an appraisal on that because the house is going to sell for at least $400,000 and you're only asking for $50,000. So
yeah,
we don't need an appraisal.
Yep.
You're good.
I just moved one forward yesterday. 785 purchase in Eden Prairie, 20% down conventional. Don't need an appraisal because it's Eden Prairie. There's hundreds of houses in that price range for that style and everything in Eden Prairie, and the borrowers are solid. We ran it through the system. System's like, no appraisal.
It gets back to that perceived risk we were talking about, where the lenders, like the insurers, they're arm's length away from it, but they don't want a toxic asset.
Right.
They're doing it from the worst case scenario forward.
Yeah. They just say, hey, look, worst case, like on the lender side, worst case, we have to take this thing back. What will it sell for? And that's basically what an appraisal is there for. So we got a few minutes left here. Last thoughts, gentlemen. Maybe tell the listeners the best way to get a hold of you guys, Rick.
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me in my office is phone number is 612-444-3808. My email address is rick@yourcreditlife.com. That's rick@yourcreditlife.com.
Perfect. Dustin, easiest way to get a hold of you?
612-408-6530. Or you can email me at dustin@walgrave.com.
And we have direct links to everyone, all our preferred partners right on the website, minnesotahometalk.com, so you can connect with everyone there. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.
This has been a paid program. The views expressed were not necessarily